Okay, fine. We are good to start at 7:04. So hoping that you guys can able to see the screen. Can you please confirm, any one of you?
Yes.
Okay, well, thanks guys. Thanks for the confirmation. And again, good morning and good evening. Thanks for joining the session on time. So maybe tomorrow onwards, we are going to start the session max by 7 or 7:2. So as we are initial stage, so for that reason, we are giving a flexibility just to adjust yourself. So once everyone is adjusted, once the batch is freezed, we are going to start the session sharp, maybe 7 or 7:2 by 7:2 maximum. We are going to start that. 2 minutes would be giving flexibility, and then immediately we are going to start that because 5 minutes, if I consider that, so 2 months almost it's going to be lag 2, 3 sessions. For that reason, we are going to be follow the timelines. Timelines are very, very important to complete our course curriculum within the timelines. Okay, that's fine. So in yesterday, okay, one second, not this sheet. I guess I opened the wrong sheet. This is our sheet. This is the one. Okay, this is a sheet which we are trying to utilize, are using that, hoping that you guys are getting a recording access to see that. Yeah. So in initial 2 sessions, what we have discussed here is, let me recap. We have discussed about just in a high level understanding about Oracle Fusion Financials, how the process works, and what is ERP, and how that process works, the usage of ERP, as well as the what is Oracle Cloud Foundation, how that first happen, and on-premises versus cloud, and how the releases can be happen, what different options which you have in Oracle Cloud. Yeah, what are offerings which you have, all these things like modules, what are the modules to be during a training, how that should be coverage, and how would be the training approach, all the points which we have discussed initial of 2 sessions. Along with that, and also we have discussed about how the job opportunities, if you learn this course, how would be the career path. All these things also which I've discussed about, hierarchy and the packages, how the packages and how the on-site opportunities, all these points which I've discussed. And also the support, what kind of support which are going to provide you on behalf of our trainings. So that basically we are going to provide the URL and the resume preparation, interview questionnaires, and the recording sessions will be shared. In case any other help required, you guys can go ahead and get in touch with me one by one. I mean, one by one, or maybe 1 to 1 also. I mean, for example, there are a couple of people wanted to talk. Maybe you can just update in the WhatsApp group, or else you can ping me separately also, no problem. So that way, you guys can get in touch with me to resolve any open queries in case if we have. Yeah, the total trainings or any kind of challenges which are going to face that. And also we have understand what are offerings which you have and what are options which you have, and how the application look and feel, how to enable the offerings, the importance of the role and responsibility comparison in EBS as well as the cloud, and what is FSM, how to create a users, role assignment, the impact of the role assignment. If we don't assign the role, how it's going to be. If we assign the role, how it would be. All the pencil lab jobs, all these things which I've discussed in a yesterday's session. Today, we will try to understand all these points. How shall we know the user, which is a user is available in the system, is that employee user or is maybe implementation user, and also how to create the project and how to assign the project to the user. One project can be assigned to how many users. So we have any option, or else how many offerings we can go ahead and map under one project, and how that work should be assigned individual user wise. All these things, and of course, checking the version update. Currently, we are in 25B, release 13, that is the latest version. That is 25B is nothing but second quarter 2025 here. And geographical process also, one of the important area to understand how to enable the geographical. If you don't want to enable that, how it is going to be impact all the information which are going to discuss today. Then later, once you guys are clear with this, then tomorrow onwards, we are going to start doing with the actual configuration. Before starting the configuration, I will give enterprise structure definition, how that enterprise structure should be defined in the system, so that we can go ahead and start doing the configuration. So there are multiple ways to do the configuration, either manual process or through rapid sheet. First, we'll understand about the manual process, how the configuration should be done. Once you guys are clear with the manual process, so that it will be easy for you to prepare the rapid sheet. Once you prepare the rapid sheet, whenever you are loading, if you see any challenges, you are already aware with the manual process, how to navigate each and every activity, how that should be handled, all the things which you guys able to resolve without having any challenges. So for that reason, we'll cover manually, then later we are going to do through rapid sheet. Okay, fine. So difference between employee user and implementation user. Any one of you, can you please share what is employee user and implementation user as per your understanding? Kunal, Kinari, and Aditya.
So employee user will be the regular user who can access or who can give the input to create the transactions, and the implementation user who implements the projects, like who define the roles or define the process in the ERP.
Yes, you're correct. You're correct. Similar, yes. Yeah, whatever you said, that's correct. Yeah. Any other thoughts, all of you? Okay, no problem. Let me take that. See, guys, employee user, the user, yes, you said correct. Employee user, for example, let's take. I will give simple understanding. Mastercard is your client. Mastercard is your client. Client is nothing but the organization which are working for. Mastercard is the company which are working for. Who is going to work directly from the Mastercard? Those employees will become as an employee user. Correct? And example, let's take some TCS or else maybe CTS or else maybe Infosys. Example. Okay? Any company, any service company. So they are gonna do the implementation for financial modules to this MasterCard client. Okay. So these all are become of implementation users. Implementation users only will do the implementation for the application. Transaction process, the users, employee users may have separate users for accounts payable department, human capital department, marketing department, finance department, general ledger department, AR department, like that, AR team, like that. So they are going to take care about that. Employee users are the users who are going to be work for the client. Those called as the employee users. Those are all the employees. And when it coming to the finance users, here finance implementations is nothing but the companies which are going to provide the services. Yeah, sorry. So here, how that's going to work, and let's go ahead and see that. For example, how shall we identify? Yes, we understand the concept of employee user as well as the implementation users. How shall I know which user is employee user and which user is implementation user? Let's come here. Let's take this user. This is a user which you have created. This user, I am saying that implementation user. What is the source? Let me try to query the employee user so that you guys can go ahead and see the difference. How I'm able to identify and all. Let's see this. Let's come here. Let's try to open it here and go back to the security console from the tools menu. So here, security console, uses pin underscore ampere, pin underscore ampere. Just click on this. If you see this pin ampere also, the employee, the implementation user only, or else let's me try guess it. If you see here, what difference you understand when you compare with this user ANV7 user and this Cassie Brown user? Any one of you? What difference you noticed here?
Roles.
No, roles is not at all going to be identification either that user is implementation user or employee user. Roles may be assigned to both the users. Okay, privileges based on the privileges that should be assigned. Okay, but what is the difference? What are the difference? You can just clearly monitor. This is your
So
Cassie
here
Brown.
it's mentioned this enable the as the administrator access.
No, 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 no. This is not a thing. Okay, that's fine. This is also one of the checkbox. Yes, that's fine. But this should be common. If you don't enable it, if you don't enable it, that's okay. No problem. But yes, what else you have noticed here? Guys, you can see here, this is associated work information. If you see this user which you have created, we don't see any associated work information. But when it coming to this user, associated work information which is there. Associated work information which is there means that user is belongs to one particular business unit, one job, and manager should be there, and the person number means employee number should be there, and department should be there. Wherever you see this information, you can see this is a employee user. Implementation user, you cannot go ahead and see any work association information here, associated work information. That is a difference you need to understand. Okay. So if I see this, it's employee user. If I don't see this, it's implementation user. Yes?
Okay.
Fine. So here you may get a doubt. From where this user can be created? Remember, the user which we can go ahead and create from the security console, by default, that user is going to become as an implementation user once you assign these roles. Application implementation consultant, if I assign to the user, all the users is become as a implementation users. That we have already seen this. If I assign this, automatically setup and maintenance is going to come, and user can go ahead and start doing a configuration. And when it coming to this user, remember, employee user you wanted to convert as an implementation user. Yes, simply you can go ahead and assign the role of implementation consultant, application implementation consultant. This user will become as a employee as well as a implementation consultant also. Because let's take MasterCard employee users which are there. Finance is going to be handled by the TCS or CTS or NP, right? Implementation users. So companies, they may maintain the consultants because they don't simply blind the vendors who are already having. For example, let's take, I'm a consultant. Let's take, you three guys are from TCS company. You guys are doing implementation. I am the employee of MasterCard. I'm also consultant. But on behalf of on behalf of MasterCard, I'm employee of the consultant. I'm the employee of the MasterCard. As a consultant is my role. You guys are working from the TCS company to fulfill my requirement. I mean the MasterCard company don't blindly believe, and TCS or maybe CTS, they may have consultants also. Same like that consultant, this user is already employee user. Simultaneously, if you wanted to assign the application information consultant role to this user, that user will become as implementation consultant also. What these guys are doing and all, that guy can go ahead and review that kind of flexibility which we have it. Are you guys are clear? The concept, please, all of you. Are you guys are following me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That is how you need to understand the difference between implementation user as well as the employee user. And other thing you need to understand here is the user which are created from the security console. That user is going to be implementation user. There are other ways to create the users. There are three ways to create. One is from security console, and other one is from the manage users, and other one is from the HCM page. HCM page can be handled by the HCM team. They are going to create the employees, and manage is one of the page where we can go ahead and create it. Why I am not created any employee user so now? Because so far we have not defined any our own BU. I have not defined any ledger or legal entity. For that reason, I am not doing at this moment. I wanted to continue with the user, whatever which I have created. Once ledger and legal entity all are ready, here as part of the AP, we are going to do that creating employee user, how that should be done and all. We are going to see that later point of time. Just understand. So far, we have created the user and understand how to identify the implementation user as well as the employee user. Then later, we are going to see that how to create and all. But three ways we can create it. One is from the security console, another one is from the manage users, another one is from the HCM page. HCM page we don't have access, but manage user activity we are going to discuss that. Let me showcase how to create employee user from here. Okay. So just eye level I am showing so that later point of time we'll create one genuine user and we'll try to assign the roles and all. Okay. So let me just go ahead and run it. Just let's showcase that. Okay. I'm not going to create. Let's showcase that. manage users. Click on it here. See, if I wanted to create the user, employee user, legal entity is mandatory. Or ledger is mandatory. Example, let's take some test employee user example. Okay. I'm not gonna create, just I'm trying to showcase it. Test employee. See here, example employee user. See, the moment I change to legal employer, business unit, these are mandatory, so that I cannot go ahead and create. If I want to do that, first of all, legal employer should be defined and business unit should be available. So far, we have not defined anything. Just understanding the difference between employee user and the implementation user and how to create it and all these things which you are trying to understand. But in general, once everything is ready, then only we can go ahead and create it. Okay, so for that reason, at this moment, I'm not doing. Later point of time, we'll do. But here you guys understand the difference between employee user and implementation user, as well as how to verify from the security console which user is implementation user and which user is a employee user. All these things which you guys can go ahead and notice from here. Okay, these are some fundamental information. Tomorrow, once you started working on the application, you never, I mean, if you are not aware at this time, maybe at the time of real-time working, you may see some challenges from your colleagues or else maybe from the business. So for that reason, I'm just highlighting this point as part of the fundamentals of our consultant role. Okay, hoping that is that clear or any doubts, guys? Galaxy A51 who is that? The person name, please. The person name, please. Galaxy, I don't see the person name. I see Galaxy A51. Guys, can you please respond? Who is that? Galaxy, can you respond? Otherwise, you don't. Can you unmute yourself? I don't see any response. Guys, can you speak up or else any issue with your mic or what? I don't know. Guys, are you able to hear me? All of you? Other people?
Yes, Nivas.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I'm not sure who is that Galaxy A51. That's something I'm not sure. Otherwise, I need to remove that person from the meeting here. Otherwise, I don't know who is that guy and all. Or else text me, guys. If you are not able to speak, at least text me so that I can get to know who is that person and all. I cannot blindly simply accept that. It will become challenge tomorrow. Okay, let me remove him. Yeah, I don't see any response from him.
Yes. Now I can do it.
Sorry? Ah, yeah. Who is
Yeah,
this? Who is this?
Syed. My name
Syed.
myself is. Yeah,
Syed.
yeah.
Okay. So my request is because come with the name because I don't know who is coming and also that's the main reason. Okay. So hope you understand because we cannot go ahead and allow the unknown persons for that reason. Just I'm trying to get to know the names and all. Try to rename yours so that it will be easy for
No,
me to understand. Okay. Try to understand from my side as well. Yeah.
no problem. No
Yeah.
problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll.
Yeah. Change that. Yeah. Fine. This is how you can go ahead and identify the users of employee user as well as the implementation user. Hoping that you guys are clear. In case any doubts, please. Okay. Next, project creation. Guys, remember, project creation is not a mandatory. Project creation is going to be used only just for the tracking purpose. If I wanted to go ahead and do the configuration as a project manager, I can go ahead and refer the Excel only rather maintaining the project in the system. Because if I wanted to maintain the project in the system, it's going to be time consuming activity. But even though if you want to track everything in the system, yes, that is available. For example, I'm just consider that I'm a lead. You guys are working for implementation project. Let's take one person for AP, one person for AR, or else maybe two people per GL, two people per AR like that. I can go ahead and assign the owner name so that they can go ahead and complete it and they can go ahead and prepare the update the data and update the status. That way we can do it. Or else you want to track everything in the system also, that can be also possible. Let's come to home here. Let's come to home here. how to define the project. So I'm trying to define the project. Remember, again, I'm telling you, project creation is a not mandatory thing to define it. Okay. So this is your FSM page. You guys are already aware. Let's click on this task list. Manage implementation project. Manage implementation project. So let's go ahead and define it. So here I see lot many projects which are available here. Ignore about the projects which are already available here because it's a test instance. For that reason, I can see lot many projects which are available. In generally, we don't see these many projects in the real-time application. You see only the projects which we are defined as part of the client requirement. Otherwise, it's not at all going to be required. Okay, so how to do that? Let's come here. So in case if already created a project, you guys can go ahead and query that and you guys can go ahead and update it. But if you want to define your new project, simply you can come here and you can go ahead and just say create it. That way you can go ahead and do that. Let's say add it. Let's say create it. See, I'm trying to create a project. What is the naming convention which I wanted to use it for? We decided to go ahead with one naming convention, that is ANV7. ANV7. Whenever you do your practice, you guys can go ahead and create your own naming convention. ANV7 is our naming convention. This is the project which I'm trying to define it for. Okay, the status is showing as not started, but we have option to change that. And see, this is a user which is FI Fin implementation user. Okay, to whom you wanted to assign it for. To whom you wanted to assign it for. You can go ahead and assign it for the respective user. Okay, so let's go ahead and log out from this user. We'll create our user. Okay, so we'll log in with our user. The user which I have used is this is the one. Okay, so yesterday we have all discussed. In case someone is missed the sessions yesterday and day for yesterday, you guys can go and refer the recording sessions. In case any other queries, just reach out to me on this number so that I can clarify all your doubt in case if you have any queries related to filing. Okay, fine. Now we want to define the project. How to define it? So setup and maintenance. This is a page which is going to be open. Come here again, task list. Let's say manage implementation projects. The naming convention, let's say add it. You can see lot many. Ignore about. In the real time, you may have only the projects which already available as part of your client requirement. Otherwise, you don't see all other things. Okay. So the naming convention which you decided to go ahead with ANV7. ANV7 implementation project which I'm trying to define it for. Maybe it's a MasterCard or maybe HSBC or maybe some Tiger brands or else maybe Standard Foods, whatever. We can go ahead and use the same naming convention. See, whatever the user which we are going to create this project, the respective project should be assigned to that user, or else you wanted to change to any other one. Yes, we have flexibility to map it for. Okay, but remember, one project can be mapped to only one person, either maybe project manager or maybe senior consultant. That is totally depends on our internal who is going to be handle that total project. We need to assign it. So here finish date, wanted to put example, let's take the finish. We are targeting to finish the project by December 31st example. You can go ahead and give that, or else if you update with the same date today also, no problem, just only for tracking purpose, guys. If I update is today, maybe May 22, it's not at all going to be considered that it's not going to be accepted. It's not like that. Only just for tracking purpose, we are using that. Okay. Let's say save and close. This is the project which I have defined it. Let's go ahead and check that. Our project will be available there. Save and close it. See here, it's taking some time to close, save and close it. 1 minute. Once it is completed, you can go ahead and check our project, which is going to be available under the projects. So generally it won't take time, but yeah, it's completed. See, this is our project which is created now. So let's click on this. If you click on this, that will be open, or else I don't want to click on this here. Click on this overview. The moment once I click on overview, whatever the projects which are mapped to this user, all will be available here. Let's just wait. It's getting just updating. See, only the project, whatever which are available under this user only, that should be available. Once you click on the overview here, once you click on this overview, see, today you created this, it's showing in the top because of today we have created just now. Tomorrow, maybe once you guys started doing your preparation and all, maybe the project may will move to somewhere else. You wanted to search it from us, you can search it from here also, no problem. Or else you don't want to even search it from here, just click on this overview so that the project will be available here. Okay, so this is how we can go ahead and look for that and click on this project. This is something which you can go ahead and understand about the creation of the project. Okay, let's come back here. Let me update it here. Where is that? Project creation is completed. Next, assigning the project to the user. That is also we have seen. See here, still we have a flexibility to modify the user to assignment here. See, to whom you wanted to update it. For example, you wanted to update to some XYZ user. Yes, we have flexibility to do that. And also status also started, not started, in progress and completed. Here also we have a status to update. Let's go ahead and update with the not started. Let's say okay. This is how you can go ahead and define the project, one thing, and assign it to the user, one thing, and assigning the offerings under this project. What exactly you wanted to implement that? Either you wanted to implement financials, or you wanted to implement SCM, or either you wanted to implement HCM, or else financials, SCM, as well as the SCM. These three offerings which are going to be handled by A and B user. Example, he's a project manager. He's going to be handled three modules or three offerings. Yes, you can go ahead and map it here. Or else you wanted to have a separate project for finance, separate project for HCM, separate project for SCM, because three people are separately. So that's how you can go ahead and track it. It's totally depends. Okay, how to map it? We have flexibility. You can go ahead and assign the offerings to one user, three offerings under one project. Yes. Or else you wanted to have a separate project for financial, separate project you wanted to create it for SCM, separate project you wanted to create for the SCM or inventory, whatever, you can go ahead and define it. Either of the cases can be possible. Let's come here. Let's say add it. What exactly you wanted to assign it for? Financials. I wanted to assign the offerings of finance. Let's go ahead and assign it for what exactly finance is going to take care. Here you can see the description. Configure how you manage financial information, assets, assets, ledgers, cash cycle, invoices, payments, receivables, collections, all financials related. Let's say done it. The moment once you assign it, that can be available here. That can be available here. You can see that. And also you wanted to map it, you wanted to assign SCM also or procurement also. Yes, you can go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and map any number of procurement, example. Procurement. Let's say okay. Once you map it, once you assign it, later point of you wanted to delete that. Yes, that flexibility also we have. That kind of flexibility also we have. Example, you don't want to map to procurement. Example, wrongly assigned. You can go ahead and delete that. We have that kind of flexibility. Okay. So finance, I wanted to have a finance project under this project. Or else you wanted to have a separate for each offering wise. Yes, that should be possible. Or else three offerings, say projects, procurement, financials, and SCM handled by one employee. Yes, project manager, common project manager. Yes, that can be assigned under one project only. That is totally depends on the business requirement. Okay, fine. Here you can see this is a financial which are assigned. Let's click on this financial. Under financials, all this should be available here. For example, you want to assign this task to one of the person. Example. Yes, I can go ahead and assign the users to whom that should be. Example, some XYZ person should be taken care of this invoicing and procurement configuration. Either you wanted to do it. Yes, as I said, right? If I am a project manager, definitely I will prefer this Excel rather using this, assignments and all. It's going to be manual effort. Each and every activity level, I need to go ahead and ask. For example, revenue management is handling by some XYZ resource, or collection is handling by some ABC resource. I cannot go ahead and map it. I have all the configuration list here. I can go ahead and assign which is user. For example, this is XYZ user. Example, ABC user, or some FDF user. Example, just I'm taking that. Okay, FDA user. This way I can go ahead and segregate it. Or else I can go ahead and map it from here also. Simply I can go, for example, assign the task. How you wanted to assign it, to whom you wanted to assign it. Yes, you can go ahead and assign it for. Okay, that's how we can go ahead and assign the activities to the respective user. Project can be handled by one manager, and the activities can be handled by the consultants, maybe respective team members, I can say. That way they can go ahead and see. This is how we can go ahead and, as I said yesterday, whatever you wanted to implement, you can go ahead and implement from three ways. One is FSM. We have already seen that. FSM as well as the global search as well as the from the project. Let's go ahead and see that. For example, let's go ahead and verify, open 3 pages. Okay. We have flexibility to do that. Okay. Either any one of the page. For example, this is your FSM page. Okay. This is your functional setup manager. Come here. Let's say again setup and maintenance. This is your global search which you wanted to do it. For example, global search means come here. Let's say search it. This is your global search. For example, if I want to define accounting calendar, example, manage accounting calendar. Okay, accounting calendar. Task name should be same. Okay, manage accounting calendar. See here, click on this. If you see here, help means the definition is going to be available here. The manage accounting calendar. If you go ahead and from the project, right, you will have a definitions each and everything. You can go ahead and give that. That's one of the best flexibility which have if you go through the project. The definition, where the other options which are available and how accounting validate all these things. You can some theoretical information you can find it. Okay, if you do the from project, let's click on this. This will be directed to same page. Okay. So it's just navigating, I guess. 1 second. This is, yeah, same we can go and create new. As yesterday we discussed, these many are available because of this is something, it's a test instance I can see, but in the real time, you don't see all these calendars. You can simply go ahead and click on it. And otherwise, you can go ahead and do it from the FSL page. Accounting calendar. See here, same page. Either you do from here, either you do from same page. Here also. Manage accounting calendar. Let's click on this. See, no difference, guys. Either you do it from here, but we have a flexibility, okay, to navigate the page or to configure that particular activity. Everything should be directed to the same page, but we have different ways to do that. For example, you wanted to reach one destination. See, there are multiple ways to reach, right? So here also we have flexibility to do multiple ways the configuration. Whatever you feel comfortable, you can go for that. Are you guys are clear? Are any doubts, please? Syed, Rudrama, Kunal. Yeah, fine.
I have one question.
Yes, please.
Can we assign one project to multiple user?
No. Project, as I said, project can be assigned to only one person. Project manager should be one, not two. For example,
Okay.
yeah, so one person can be assigned. I cannot go
And
ahead and
one task can be, sorry, and one task can be assigned to multiple user?
No, one task can be assigned to one user. For
Okay.
example, let's take this here. See, this is a one-time activity, assigned it. Still, yes, we have a flexibility to modify. For example, this person is moved from the project or is left from the organization. Yes, you can change it and you can modify it to someone else, some XYZ. Okay, this is one thing. And task wise, here, yes. For example, you wanted to assign the task only one person. Yes, you can go and assign to multiple people also. But why we need to assign the multiple people? If you assign multiple people, then again conflict, right? Just they are thinking that that person is doing or this person is doing. End of the day, it should be pending, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all about your assigning the project and assigning that to the users and assigning the offerings and all. Okay. That is all about. And let's go ahead and talk about the version update. Currently, what is the version which are using? I've already seen that. This is your 25B Oracle Cloud Fusion application. This is the latest version that is release 13 25B. 25B is nothing but, let me go ahead and explain. Already I explained, but few of them are new. So 25B is nothing but 2025, 2025, 2025, 2025. Every year we'll have 4 quarters. Correct? Every year we'll have 4 quarters. 1 quarter equivalent to 3 months. Correct? So I noted somewhere. Where is that? Okay, no problem.
You have just passed it.
Where is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Column K.
Yeah, column K. See here, 25A means, for example, here see, currently we are in 25B because we are in May month. So April to June, that should be 25B. because every quarter they are going to maintain. Next quarter should be 25C. Next quarter will be 25D. They are going to release the releases quarterly with the latest updates. Okay, so next year 26A, 26B, 26C, 26D. Last year 24A, 24B, 24C, 24D, like that. Every year they are going to have 4 quarters. Sun means 4 releases, each quarter wise 1 release. What exactly they are going to do? Whatever the latest suggestions from the business, or latest enhancements from the business, or latest bugs, whatever they are going to notice any issues while doing the application process, they are going to consider all the open queries from the n number of clients. They can go ahead and check the feasibility. Do you have any option to enhance that, or do you have any option to fix that issue? They can go ahead and fix that, and whatever the latest changes which are going to be available, that can be released in the form of releases. That's how the releases can be happened. This is one of the better advantage which we have for the clients, as well as it's a kind of feedback we are going to take from the clients and to enhance our application, to stabilize our application. Okay, that's how. Not only for that, whatever the Oracle is wanted to implement the new features based on the requirements and all, that also be part of the releases. Along with the new enhancement and all, whatever the feedback which are going to get from the clients also, that will be considered, and that can be implemented, and that can be released to the respective quarter wise. That is all about your versions and checking the versions. Whenever you do any application, or whenever you work on any application with respect of any client or any company, you can check the version from here. 25B Oracle Fusion applications. Okay, that's how we can get to know that. Okay, so next, geographical process. For example, you are trying to define one location. Example, let's take that. So I'm not going to create, just to showcase example. I want to define the one location, manage location, the task. Remember guys, every activity will have a task. Every activity will have a task. Knowing the task is going to be, I can say 20% of the learning is completed. Without knowing the task, you cannot go ahead and navigate. Task is nothing but, I can say, navigation steps. Simply, simple words, navigation steps. If you know the navigation steps processes, it will be easy. For example, I want to define the transaction types. What is the task name? Transaction type. You want to define the customer profile class. What is the task name? Here. When it coming to define a customer, what is the task name? From where I need to navigate, create a customer. And if you want to assign the roles, from where I need to navigate, security console, I can go ahead and assign the roles. That way, task is going to be very important to know as a consultant. As I said, if you know the task for all the modules, I can say 20% of the learning will be completed. That much importance we have for the task. Okay, fine. Now let's go ahead and try to define the location. Because all these are also one of the tasks. Searching for the task as managed location is to be used for location. I don't want to query any existing one. I wanted to create some new location. So why I am creating, just to validate the geographical information, just to showcase the importance of the geographical information. For that reason, I am trying to create one location. Fine. Let's say some test location. Some test location. I'm giving some test location name. I'm not defining, just to showcase the importance of address. See here, let's say chip code. Guys, here, this is a validation which we need to validate it. For example, setup and maintenance. Go to the task called as manage geographies. Manage geographies. Let's click on this. Yes, these are very, maybe you guys may not realize today, but once you start working on the application, definitely you feel the pain. Okay, for the reason I'm trying to cover these some fundamentals. Okay, let's take US. Okay, US country. See here, validation defined. Let's come to validation defined task. By default, that should be available here. Validation defined here means, for example, if you see, what is a hierarchy? State, county, city, and postal code. These are all the hierarchy for the US country. See here, when I try to search with zip code, some example like 5, that should be queried with the whatever the numbers which are there, that should be queried, means postal code and state and city. So here guys, if I disable it here, example, system will accept anything. Instead of 55445, let's enter some ABC. Instead of Minnesota, you can enter some XYZ. Or city, you can enter some ABC, like that. that will be allowed. If I disable it, if I enable it, if I try to enter any junk data, system won't be considered. You need to take the exact values. That's how the geographical is setup is one of the important area to understand. Tomorrow, once you start working on that, from where the control, here would be the control, you can say that. If some, maybe you, because initial of my career, I remember this is disabled. Okay. So users are trying to enter, details, straight details. It's accepting everything, junk characters. They come up, they raise ticket. Why this is accepting? This is a issue. So immediately we verified the configuration. Okay, what is the issue? This is disabled. Immediately we have enabled in the lower instances. We have tested everything. Then later, once the user is confirmed, we moved to the production. We disable that, and we have enabled all these things earlier, which is disabled, and user not able to enter any junk characters. Here with the control. If I put this as a disable, it should be allowed to enter any junk characters. Junk characters, whatever text. I mean, if you enable it, system will not be allowed. If I try to enter some example, like this example, try to enter something, try to save, see here, system will not allow. If I disable this, that will be allowed. Whatever you enter it, that will be allowed. Okay, if you see, it's not allowing. That's how the validation can be happen. Okay. So here will be the control. Don't edit anything, guys, just to showcase. I'm coming here and just I'm trying to explain that. Otherwise, if you do all the changes and all, it's going to be impact to other users. For that reason, some generic configuration, you never edit anything. Like, for example, disabling the currencies, disabling the geographies, or deleting the existing information in the system, example, calendars, or else maybe dating any users, and don't do that in the practice instance. It is going to be impact the other users. Tomorrow, if you're doing your practice, you created one user, someone is unlocked it, or someone logged it. It's going to be a problem for you. You are not able to log in. You need to again go back to that and unlock it, and you can go ahead and do that. So
I
there
have
are.
a quick,
Mhm.
sorry.
Okay.
If you disable the county variable, is there a way to remove it completely and not make it just like not mandatory? Or is it just that one option?
There is only one option which you have from the controls here. This one option which you have. There is no other way. This is some seeded. Basically, Oracle is going to provide with the latest year. Okay. So geographic information. If I disable it, yes, that should be only one way you can do it. Means there's only one process. Okay.
Right. So once you disable it, it doesn't remove the variable completely.
No, I did not get you. Okay. Once I disable it, what is your query? Once I disable it, okay.
So once you disable it, when someone is putting in the geography information, would county still be visible or does it go away completely?
No, it will not, it won't be visible. It won't be visible. It will be visible, but if we enter some junk character also, that will be allowed. That will be visible. If we enter junk characters, that will be allowed. If you wanted to select the exist one, yes, you can able to select it. But junk characters also should be allowed if I disable it. That is the difference you need to
No.
understand.
What she's asking is
Mhm.
how could we make it mandatory or non-mandatory fields? Like
It's already
see
there. It's already there.
there, it's already there.
It's already there. It's
If
already
if you okay, click on create, okay.
It's already there.
So you address one, okay, mandatory.
Yeah, it's already there.
Oh, so can we make them like is this a configurable? Like zip code become non-mandatory? Can it be a configurable? Or it just like mandatory by default when the system comes?
Mandatory by
Mandatory by
default, that will come. Yes, that's something
that
which we cannot go ahead and do that because this is something global
okay.
level, right? Few of the countries that
Yes.
is a mandatory, so that we cannot go ahead and edit. Still, if you wanted to do that, yes, from the backend we have flexibility, but you never touch that.
Got it. That is our question. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right,
Got it.
okay, no problem. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Right, so if I disable it, can I remove the field, the county field? For example?
No. See, the field should be remains as it is. Fields remain should be as it is. But here you can go ahead and enter some ABC also that should be accepted if I disable it. System won't do any validation, whatever you are entering here. If I enable it, right? If I enable it, system will do the validation. If I see here, it is not, see, it is showing that invalid value. If I take the exact value, then only system will be considered.
Right. So if I
Maybe you
want
have to do the customization. Maybe you have to do the customization on that page to make that field invisible. You got my point, right?
Right.
There might be
No, no,
customizations
no.
available.
See,
Yes.
one thing. See,
Okay.
customizations, yes, you can go ahead and do that. First of all, these are all very standard things, right? Country
Yes,
wise. For
yes.
example, I am doing for India or else I am doing for UK. Every country has their own address style, correct?
That's
So
true. Yes.
definitely we need to maintain that. If I yes particularly wanted to do that, you wanted to hidden that, yes, we have that kind of flexibility through customization,
Yes.
or else maybe from the back end we can do that. But why we need to
That's
do
what,
that? That's the first question. Why we need to do that?
I don't know. If there is a requirement,
Yes,
maybe
in case requirement,
customer
yes. See,
requirement, that
yeah,
might be the question.
yes.
Yes.
Requirement if it is there, whatever you wanted to do, yes, we have that kind of flexibility to do that. Okay.
Okay, so
But
I have one more question. So
yes,
this
please.
one,
Mhm.
if we have to do the customization, you use the redwood here, or how this screen? This is
So.
all
Mhm.
Visual Basic Studios, right? Like Visual Basic screenshots, right? So how would you do the customization using Visual Studio or the redwood?
We
How
here
it goes?
basically when it coming to the customization here we can go ahead and use the Redwood pages. That is with it more or a technical team is going to taken care of that.
Uh,
Yeah.
got it. Okay. Okay.
As a functional consultant, we need to ensure what is our requirement. We need to prepare one document, post our client confirmation, then only we can go ahead and do that. Without having a client confirmation, we cannot go ahead and edit any other existing details in the system. Okay. You guys are clear on this? All of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So hoping that Kinar, you're also clear, right? Hoping any
Yes.
question. Okay, fine. So this is all about your geographical information. So because tomorrow you guys should not be under assumption that where is the control and all. For that reason, I'm taking all these important points initial of our session so that you guys might aware. It will be easy for you whenever you start working on that. Yeah. Simultaneously, you will get habituated to the application and all, rather directly going to the discussions to the actual configuration. Okay. These are some information which I wanted to convey. Yes. Good that we have covered. In case any questions, please speak up. If not, what I wanted to do here is I wanted to explain the enterprise structure today. And tomorrow onwards, we are going to start doing the actual configuration of the general ledger. First, what we'll do, we'll try to understand the concept through manual process. Once you guys are clear with the manual process so that you guys can get to know the navigation process and how to add the things, how to edit and how to delete and all. Once you are clear with that, hardly it's going to take 1 or 2 sessions. Once that is completed, there is another way to do that through rapid sheet. Means rather doing all the activities through manual process, we have one spreadsheet to download, how to prepare the data and how to generate the files, how to load the data into the system, all these things which are going to discuss. I'm going to clearly demonstrate that. But the thing is, once you are clear with this, then only whenever you do the rapid sheet, if you see any challenges, you can go ahead and navigate that. If I go ahead and directly give a demonstration on the rapid process, you guys might not aware, maybe in case if instance is maybe in case the deployment is failed, you guys not able to identify the issue and I are not able to navigate the particular area to navigate to fix that issue. For the reason we'll wanted to discuss in the manual process, then later we are going to talk about the rapid sheet. Okay, just I wanted to clear on that for you guys. So tomorrow we are going to start with the actual configuration through manual. And before starting, so let's go ahead and complete with the enterprise structure. Any one of you is having idea on the enterprise structure, how the enterprise structure should be, it's going to be work. Any one of you, please. Any one of you, enterprise structure?
We will be having business unit, under business units, multiple divisions or legal entities, then operating units. Then you will be having your maybe distribution units, whatever the material distribution units, cost centers and everything.
Yes, you are correct. So here I have already clearly noted. Let me showcase that. Where is this GIF file rapid enterprise structure? Yeah, here you can see. Enterprise structure is nothing but organization structure. Okay. For example, let's take Tata Limited or let's take Reliance Limited, whatever. So enterprise just in the form of a record, just we are gonna record in the system. Enterprise is nothing but in high level of the organization under which I can go ahead and have the divisions. Example like European division, or else maybe US North division, US South division, US East division, or else South India, example, North India. These are like kind of a divisions within India, or else within a US, these are all divisions. Of course, divisions are not mandatory. If you wanted to implement, yes, we can go ahead and do that. I can showcase that. And under division, I can go ahead and ledgers. Remember, under one country, if I am having, for example, every country we need to maintain as a one ledger. I cannot go ahead and have multiple ledgers under one country. For example, I'm running a business in India. I need to have the only one ledger. Maybe under one ledger, you may have a n number of legal entities. One legal entity belongs to Tamil Nadu, one legal entity belongs to Telangana, one legal entity belongs to UP, and one legal entity belongs to maybe whatever other state, Delhi, whatever, you can take it. One ledger should be mandatory. You need to map it to division. And legal entities, yes, I can go ahead and map n number of legal entities to the primary ledger. But one should be mandatory. You need to map it. Same way, business unit. Business unit, you need to map to legal entity. One legal entity, for example, let's take Telangana legal entity. Example, let's take some ANV legal entities which is registered, under which I can go ahead and have n number of branches within Hyderabad. Example, let's take Kondapuram branch, example, business unit, or Madhapur, or else maybe Dilshuk Nagar, or else maybe, Kotaguda, whatever, Gachibowli, whatever, high-tech city. You can consider that. So, but one should be there. One legal entity should be mapped to one business unit, or one business unit mandatory map to one legal entity. Without mapping the business unit to legal entity, there is no use of defining your enterprise structure. Same way, inventory organization under one business unit, inventory organization, you wanted to maintain it, yes, you can go on, and one should be mapped. And inventory organization, sub-inventories, yes. That way, the enterprise structure should be. Means, enterprise is nothing but, let's take simple example as a Tata Limited, and division is nothing but maybe Euro division, or maybe India division, or else maybe South India, North India, whatever. That way, you can go ahead and define it. And primary ledger should be the ledger with the respective country. Under one division, you need to have a one ledger, and where the legal entity should be mapped to ledger, but at least one should be mapped. But you can go ahead and have n number of legal entities to under one ledger. Same way for business unit. One business unit, I can go ahead and map it to as a legal entity as a mandatory. I can go ahead and map n number of this. This question maybe, and whenever you go for any discussion, they try to confuse you, but you need to be very clear on that. One should be mandatory mapped, but you can go ahead and have an option to map n number of. That way, you need to just answer in case they try to confuse you, any discussion from the client side, or maybe discussions happening with the client, or else maybe for interview discussions, whatever.
So this, got it. This operating unit need to be mapped to something. It has to be mapped to legal entity.
Yes, business unit, operating unit, we used to call this in EBS. Now we are calling that as a business unit.
Business unit. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So it
That
has
should-
mapped to the legal
legal
entity.
entity. Yes,
Okay.
legal entity.
And legal
Yes.
entity in turn mapped to the primary ledger.
Yes. Primary ledger and division and enterprise. That only just sake of configuration we are gonna do that. Exactly, that's not at all going to be interlinked, but these are all interlinked. Without defining
Yes.
any one of that, you cannot go ahead and record anything in the system. Okay. Fine.
Got
That
it.
is all
So
about
this
it.
enterprise and division will be defined in financials and the HCM.
HCM team actually, but I will showcase that how to define, and I will showcase that. Basically, that should be done by the HCM, Human Capital Management team.
Okay.
Yeah. But these are all the activities should be done by us.
Got
Inventory
it.
organization should be done by the SCM team, Supply Chain Management team. Okay. Yeah. That is all about enterprise structure. Any questions on the enterprise structure, all of you, please? Syed, Aditya, are you guys following me?
Yeah.
So in case any questions, please. Okay, good that, whatever the questions which you raised, right? Definitely it will be helpful to all other participants. Okay. So maybe they might aware, but if we have a chance to discuss all these things, right? It's a kind of refreshment also can be happen. Okay. Fine.
Do
Go
you
ahead.
think you could quickly summarize the enterprise thing you said again, please?
Yeah, sure. Simple. Enterprise structure is nothing but your organization structure. Okay. Let's take here enterprise and division. This basically can be done by the HCM team. Even this is something which we are gonna to be record in the system to complete the entire configuration. Okay. And here enterprise simple example is Tata Limited, and division is like example like European division, or else maybe UK division, or else maybe US division, or else maybe South India or maybe North India kind of divisions, we can go ahead and do that. As I said, one ledger should be maintained for one country. For example, I am running a business in 10 countries. Example, let's take US, let's take India, let's take UK, let's take Singapore. Example, 4 countries I am running it for. I need to have a 4 ledgers should be defined. Without defining the ledger, I cannot go ahead and complete the respective country-wise configuration. It's a mandatory thing which I need to define it for. Same way for enterprise here, Tata Limited should be Tata Limited. That should be applicable for 4 countries. And divisions, yes, something maybe Singapore division, maybe US division, maybe India division, you can go ahead and have a divisions. But ledger need to be mapped under that respective division which belongs to. For example, India division. Example, maybe Singapore division. But without having a ledger, you cannot go ahead and complete the business enterprise structure. And not only for the ledger. Once the ledger is defined, you need to map or you need to define the legal entity. Simple, guys, simple understanding. Simple, I will give a simple explanation. Don't think about in all these things. If I want to run a business, one legal entity should be maintained. I'm running a company. Legal entity is nothing but our company. Company which I'm running. So obviously I need to record. I cannot go ahead and record everything in the company. So for that reason, we need to define the ledger. And also under legal entity, I need to have one business unit, operating unit or business unit from where business operations can be happen. Company is registered, but somewhere I need a place to operate the business, right? For that reason, business unit should be defined. That business unit to be mapped to legal entity mapped to ledger, and ledger need to map to division, and division need to map to enterprise. This is how the structure. And also another thing which I already explained, ensure whenever you define it, legal entity mandatory you need to map to ledger, business unit you need to mandatory map to legal entity, at least one mandatory you need to do that. Yes, we have a flexibility to add n number of business unit to one legal entity, and same way we can go ahead and have n number of legal entities mapped to one ledger. That way the enterprise structure is going to work. Of course, whenever we are going to do the actual configuration, I'm going to showcase how exactly it's going to be interlinked, where we have an option to add n number of legal entities to the ledger, or else add a number of business unit to the legal entity, and all I'm going to showcase in the system with a live example. Is that clear, Kinarino? Are you able to follow me?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so guys, with this, what I wanted to do here is, we wanted to conclude the session today, because if we wanted to start the topics again, tomorrow we can start with the enterprise information and division, then later we can go ahead and define the ledgers and all. So tomorrow we'll try to start with the actual configuration. If I start with, maybe I can complete 1 or 2. I don't want to do that. Tomorrow I wanted to do it in a fresh, so that you guys also can go ahead and follow easily. Yeah. So yeah, this is today, and I see if few of them are joined today, and few of them joined yesterday, and few of them joined, day for yesterday. So 3 sessions are completed so far. So you guys can, in case if you guys are comfortable with the training approach, if you guys are okay to attend the sessions, request you to speak with Prasad on the subscription part, and you guys can go ahead and talk with them. Any training related queries or any other challenge which you have only for training related, okay, any kind of support if you require, definitely you guys can go ahead and reach out to me on this number. Just text me so that I can just recognize mention your name as well as the person name, and so that I can go ahead and raise your query, so that I can check and I can go ahead and respond back to you. Okay. So any other things related to fees and all, you guys can go ahead and talk with the process. I don't want to involve that. So once you guys are, end of the day, it's going to be your choice, guys. If you are comfortable, you guys can go ahead and nominate yourself. And my request is, once you decided to attend the training, so as I said already, it's going to be 8 weeks, 8 weeks time it's going to take to complete the training. Try to be regular to the sessions, so that it will be helpful to you end of the day. If you skip, every topic is going to be important. Every topic and every module is going to be important. So, okay, some exceptions are there, some emergencies and all, you can understand. Just that at the time you can convey the message and all. But be try to regular to the sessions, and timings, as I already said, 7 a.m. to 8:30 or maybe 8:15 a.m. IST hours, because only the slot which is available, because I'm, what I can say, I'm working in the regular shift. I need to go to office. There is no other way around. So only the slot is available, that is 7 to 8:30 a.m. Okay. So this information which I wanted to convey. In case any questions, please speak up. If you guys are clear, maybe we can conclude the session for today. All of you. Are you guys are good? Rudrama, Saived.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, very good.
Yes.
Okay, guys, then take care. See you tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. IST. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Uh,